We finished exploring the beautiful Bahamas last week and set sail for the Dominican Republic. But of course, the weather did not cooperate and the trip was miserable, not only exhausting us, but needing a lot of boat repairs upon arrival. So we went through the process of checking into the country and got to work on our repairs list, starting with the most important, the search for the old propeller and sealing the boat leaks that had been made very obvious on the rough trip over. But we also made an effort to see some of the local sites in between jobs, including a Carnival celebration.
Bienvenido a República Dominicana.
After arriving, checking in, and starting to dry out the disaster that had accumulated inside the boat while sailing to Luperon, the boys set to work trying to discover why our boat did not move when we put it into gear that morning to change moorings. Our GoPro quickly answered the question. We had a missing propeller. Given we had motored in, attached to, and tried to back down on the mooring the night before, we assumed the propeller had to be nearby. And since the Luperon harbor is not exactly swimming pool clear, we hired the local guys and their interesting diving setup to search for it. But it could not be found. Luckily, however, back in Rhode Island, we didn't have time to sell the used propeller that came with our boat. Plus, we use it as a multi-purpose tool. So we were traveling with a spare propeller. We dug it out of the cupboard and purchased a nut and washer to fit our propeller shaft for only a few dollars. The locals put it on for us, but upon inspection with the GoPro, the job did not suffice, and John had to jump in and fix it. He then proceeded to scour his body to remove all traces of the dirty harbor before moving on to the next big problem.
It's really freaky because the boat swings around and the shadows cast in a weird way, and then you think, was that a shark? Was that an alligator? Was that a big fish that'll bite me? Was it a giant poop that someone pumped out here? None of these boats leave, ever. Ever. Some of them have been here for 10 plus months, not moving.
Guaranteed there's poop in this water.
The amount of poop that must be in here is, I mean, you see it running down the street.
Did you get inside your ears with that soap?
Oh well, I had earplugs in.
Still.
Yeah. So on our sail down from the Bahamas to the Dominican Republic, everything got soaking wet, and we believe that the main cause of the leaks was from the chain plates. So what I'm going to do today is attempt to reseat the chain plates. We're in a nice calm anchorage. The wind's a little bit blowy, but I think it should be okay. I've loosened off the vertical shrouds and the D1s, and I'm going to start by taking out the D1 and properly reseating it. We've just been adding some glue to the top to seal it to the top to try and prevent them from leaking, but we're going to do it properly because just everything gets so soaked on multiple day sails. It just takes so long to dry everything out and it makes the house unlivable. So we'll take them out and reseat them and hopefully prevent the leaks. So I've popped up this chain plate and what I'm going to do is clean off this area here where it sits flush with the deck, and then once I've done that I'm going to key it up and acetone it and then when I glue it, it should glue this section to the deck, so fingers crossed no leaks.
The boys celebrated after a few days completing the bigger jobs on the boat, and we got ready for our big day out the next day.
Hired a car going to Santiago, the second biggest city in the Dominican Republic. We need to fix some laptops and go do some exploring. And it only cost us 1,500 peso for 24 hours of car rental. Oh, plus gas. That's fine. Still cheap as chips.
Well, it's not cheap as chips. Chips are only 50 pesos.
Kelly in the driver's seat so that we don't die.
Where are we going to first? iFix?
No, gas station.
Gas station.
How do you feel?
Stressed. Okay, there's no more cows. We arrived in Santiago to the only Apple dealer nearby, in hopes of getting our water-damaged laptops fixed. But after waiting, explaining the problem, getting diagnostics run, and waiting some more, we were told that there was nothing they could do. We moved on to a big provisioning trip, since we were in an affordable country with big box stores, and then we drove the couple of hours home to unload and return the car before dark, and for John to attempt to do what Apple could not. But there was no such luck. As if the people of Luperon knew that we needed a pick-me-up while we decided what to do about our broken laptops, the entire population seemed to come out to celebrate Carnival.
So there's a serious risk of losing an eye to one of these whips.
Feeling a little bit shabby today. Carnival last night, then we went to the discotheque till 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were the whitest people in the club by far, and I'm not sure the Dominican people like the shapes that Australians and Kiwis throw down on the D floor. But never mind, it was really fun. We were the centre of attention, that's for sure. Not in a good way. Kelly and I just went ashore. We got our despacho, which is the permission to leave, basically. We need to start making our way down to Samana and then across to the BVIs after there. Finish off some last minute jobs. We really need to start making like trees and getting out of here. Be in Samana in about 4 days or so. And hopefully it's better than the sail from Bahamas to here, but we'll just have to see.
We followed the advice in our book about sailing in the Dominican and left Luperon late that evening. Sailing at night was supposed to make the journey easier, because each night, when the sun goes down and the temperature begins to drop, the land loses heat much faster than the ocean. This means that the air of the land cools faster than the air over the sea. As we all know, warm air rises, so the warmer air over the ocean ascends. The cooler air over the land rushes to the water to fill in the void that is left behind. This creates an offshore breeze. This offshore breeze is made even stronger by the nearby steep mountainous slopes on the water's edge, due to gravity that accelerates the dense air rushing to the ocean. Ideally, these factors enable the offshore breeze from the south to overpower the trade winds that blow from the east during the day. And it gives sailors a chance to sail east almost every night without having the wind on the nose. Down the Dominican coast, and conditions are better than I thought they'd be. We're doing lots of little tacks staying near land, so it's on the advice of the book. We haven't really seen these like full southerlies that the book predicts. I still feel like it's coming from the east, but the wave conditions and the wind strength and everything are better. So we're happy to stay close to land with lots of little tacks to be comfortable. And we've got 2 people on deck at all times now. Zach's downstairs sleeping because we do so many tacks, like every 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that it's nice to have 2 people. So I'm sleeping just at the front of the cockpit, and John is on the helm. And when midnight rolls around, I'll go down and sleep, and John be the upstairs sleeper, and Zach can be on the helm. So hopefully have a more comfortable sail. We don't know yet which anchorage we're going to make it to because so much tacking. But the trade winds were too strong to be overpowered that night, and so we spent the entire time tacking. By morning, we were only at Ocean World at Puerto Plata, so we decided to pull into the marina for the day and try again later that night to catch better winds. Plus, after checking into the harbor, a tedious Dominican task needing to be done at every single anchorage, it was a great excuse to run into town to replace our broken furling line for our jib. So we are going to the marina office to tell them that we are here. Our paper says we're going to Sosua, so hopefully they're okay. And yeah, we'll get the lay of the land. It looks like there's a pool and a shower, and they said there's like a half-day rate for, since everybody here sails at night. I think probably it's a common thing to show up at 5 in the morning and leave at 5 at night. So we'll see.
We said we were gonna go out, but then we end up on the couch eating pizza again. I like it, I like it. You have never ever been on time for a day, but that doesn't matter cause I'm always late. And I like it.
Some kind of magic when I see your face. The truth is in the end you're my favorite mistake. Everybody told me not to play this game, but I like it.
We left the beautiful marina that evening, freshly showered and ready for another night of sailing. Catch up with us next week as we continue our trip east along the Dominican coast, anchoring at one of the most beautiful bays so far on the entire trip. We explore a cute coastal town, jump on some motorbikes, and John and I take a ride in the back of a cop car.
Some kind of magic when I see your face.